Hi, my name is Aaron Sperber, and this is my Module 11 case study. Reporting the facts of the case, we're talking about Golden Oak High School. It serves a suburban community. Most of the parents work in local industries or they own their own businesses. There's lots of activities, extracurricular activities for students, 31 clubs and 11 sports teams. Football is very popular in the community. In the past, Golden Oak has had good attendance, strong attendance, but as of late, it is not. Approximately 85% of students have missed 10 or more school days in a school year. And some parents have voiced that they don't care about the attendance policies and will not follow them. Other facts, the board policies on attendance do align with the state policies. The school allows for excused absences for illness, death in the immediate family, inclement weather, or a valid reason excused by the principal with prior approval. If students have 5 absences, the teachers can start to deduct points. They can deduct up to 10 points from the student's grade. Homeroom teachers have been addressing the attendance problems. And some staff, including the AD and teachers and the counselor, have shown a disregard for the attendance policy. Mr. Rhodes was hired as a school leader at Golden Oak High School. The superintendent, Dr. Newman, has met with Mr. Rhodes and stated his concerns about the attendance rate at the school. And he's also stated that there's a strong relationship between the school and social services as well as the juvenile court. Local businesses, they're very interested in obviously having well-trained employees who show up for work. So that's a concern. After the first semester, Mr. Rhodes pulled the files of 5 students. Those 5 students, they had very diverse backgrounds in terms of their home life, academic history, recorded reasons as to why they're absent were very different, very diverse. So there wasn't one thing he could really pinpoint as being the main problem with the absences. Some legal and ethical issues that he has to worry about. Obviously, there could be some truancy that comes into play, truancy laws, depending on if those absences were excused or unexcused for students. Potentially breach contract with some of these teachers that it sounds like are willfully not reporting absences. And then the community and state obviously has an interest in students going to school and receiving an education. That precedent was established in Prince versus Massachusetts, 1944. So that's applicable to our case as well. So what happened? Basically, what has happened is a culture is developed at Golden Oak High School and parts of the community that it serves, where people do not value school attendance, and that has manifested itself in the fact that Golden Oak High School has had poor student attendance. So synthesizing the facts, some people involved, you have 965 students enrolled, and you've had 659 students already miss 10 days at least of school in the first semester. Not a very diverse group. You do have some Asian Hispanic families that have moved in recently. Low teacher turnover, so that's positive. Most teachers have at least 10 years of experience. Like I said, you do have 2 retired teachers that have apparently not been reporting absences on a regular basis. What we don't know the exact percentages for the racial statistics of the Asian and Hispanic students. More about the people. The counselor hasn't taken a lot of action to address student achievement, so that's a concern. The athletic director has been there for 10 years, won 5 state championships in different sports, tends to favor sports players like John, one of the students that the principal pulled his file, has been missing a lot of afternoon classes because of football. And he's kind of supported that and pushed for that. And then obviously the superintendent is Dr. Newman, who has stressed the need for better attendance. We don't really know the rest of the teachers how much fidelity they are having with the attendance policy at the school. And then finally, for people The school does have a strong relationship with social service and juvenile courts, and to the students whose files that Mr. Rhodes looked at, they expressly did have parents who willfully facilitated their child's absence. The place, like I said, suburban community. Parents typically commute 1 to 2 hours. Um, Mostly middle class income. You do have some poor and wealthy families as well. Uh, Lots of parents, like I said, work in local industries and own their own businesses. We don't know the relationship or level of support from local businesses for the school in general. Um, Board policies, they do reflect that at the state. Homeroom teachers handle absence issues, and after 5 absences can take up to 10 points off. So those are some of the policies or programs in place at the school. We don't know specifically what data collection system the school uses for those absences and other data information. Reviewing the information, the community could be impacted by the absent rate. Obviously, like I said, businesses may have a lack of reliable workers. If these habits or good habits are not being formed, who has a stake in the outcome? Obviously, the community, like I said, local businesses, Dr. Newman, Golden Oak staff, and most importantly, the students. So if they're not in school, it's hard to learn, it's hard to get a good education. We have not heard from community members necessarily, and we've only heard from 2 parents on this issue. I believe there is, however, enough information to make a decision. So some possible options: Mr. Rhodes could just hold a all school staff meeting and remind them the importance of all board policies, especially attendance policy. Review the attendance protocol and policies, and make sure, hey, they understand these are the policies. They're not guidelines or kind of, this is a suggestion. This is what has to happen. Some potential consequences for that: teachers could have used the time to improve instruction instead of having a meeting. Teachers, staff, who knows how much buy-in they'll have. Parents aren't really impacted by this a whole lot, so they still could continue to pull their kids out of school. Another possible option, Mr. Rhodes could meet with the superintendent and the board and work to strengthen the absence policies, to push for only 2 unexcused absences per year. And then after that, students will be suspended from their extracurricular activities for that week that they are absent. So much stronger policy in place, and then meet with the counselor and AD individually and discuss the importance of attendance with the AD and with the counselor, set up an improvement plan to work on how she's going to help the students. Obviously, you could have some complaints from parents and some problems from parents with this stricter absence policy that don't agree with it. You also might lose a counselor. You might have to look for a new counselor. And then the third option for Section 6, which I believe is the best, is Mr. Rhodes should call an all-staff meeting, stress the importance of attendance and keeping accurate attendance records, and then provide professional development support for data assessment for the entire staff, so they can really get a good feel for the importance of data, including attendance records, and then meet with the counselor to come up with goals that the counselor could set for themselves and strategies to reach those goals for improving student achievement for the next semester. And then obviously follow up with the counselor throughout the remainder of the year. Meet with the AD along with the superintendent, and talk with the AD and kind of emphasize, hey, the better attendance that student athletes have, the more likely they are to be eligible for their sporting events. And then also, it's going to be better setting those good habits for them if they are going to try and go on to play at a higher level as well. And then also go with the superintendent and establish a new absence policy. So change it where the principal can give prior approval for an absence, but only if that student has C's or higher in all classes and has no missing tests or assignments. Um, I think that'll really help with some of these where the parents are pulling their kids out for activities and vacations and things like that, and student educations are suffering. Um, and then also part of the plan would be to meet with parents and community members, discuss the importance of good attendance and how it can positively impact their children, the community, and the community businesses, and then leverage their strong relationship with social services to work with families to help provide supports to improve their students' attendance for some of those families that need extra help as well. So potential consequences for this plan: teachers, obviously you're still using up instruction time. Parents, they still might not like the policy, the stricter policy. Still might have some issues with parents. So evaluating my options. Option one, the pros of that is it's going to take not much time at all. Very little expenses are required for it. It should help get the staff on the same page. Cons, once again, the concern about the buy-in, and it's only dealing with the school staff. It doesn't address the community, the parents, anyone else. And it might have not much impact. Option two, it brings some gravity to the situation. That's one of the pros for the staff and the students. Kind of has a bit more of teeth to the policy. Some cons on that: the new attendance policy might anger some parents. The counselor might have a problem taking it in a negative way, their improvement plan. And it still doesn't address the community as much. And then option three, the pros: more supports for teachers and staff in general, especially in looking at data. Better record keeping on attendance. It shows them the importance of that, and that can improve their lessons and also improve student learning. It's a more holistic approach, bringing in the parents and the community as well, not just the staff. And it will be beneficial to the students just beyond attendance and to the teachers just beyond attendance with all that new training. Now, this will be more costly. You'll probably have to bring some people in and cost and time as well. And once again, parents still might have some issues with the policy. So upon reflection and careful consideration, I'd say that option three is your best solution for Mr. Rhodes. It takes into account all stakeholders. It gives positive reinforcement to students for showing up to school, not negative reinforcement. We are reaching out to the community and the parents. We're not just saying, hey, this is the school policy, that's it. And we're providing teachers and staff in a positive way with ways to keep better records and follow the data to help their students. So you're adding value there, not just with absences, but other data and assessment literacy as well. Implementation. First step would be over winter break. Mr. Rhodes needs to compile data over attendance, GPA, summative data, and use that to show the positive correlations between attendance and student achievement. Step two, he's going to work with Dr. Newman, the superintendent, to plan professional development opportunities to improve staff data and assessment literacy. And then step three, he needs to present attendance data to the entire staff at PD, then discuss the importance of taking attendance and how data, including attendance data, can help student outcomes. Step four, he needs to recommend the new attendance policy to the superintendent and Board of Education. Recommend changes to attendance taking procedures to the superintendent and Board of Education. Have that handled by the central office, not the teachers and the homeroom teachers in this case. Step five, meet with counselor and write goals and strategies for her to help improve student achievement. Coordinate with the counselor as well for getting her set up with a counselor or several counselors from high performing districts that have a lot of experience that she can shadow. Step 6, meet with the AD and discuss the specific benefits of creating good habits like good attendance have for student athletes, getting the AD on board. And then step 7, you're bringing your community in, your parents in. So through social media, local newspapers, local bulletin board, advertisements, um, put out, hey, we're going to have a parent community night at school, invite the local business leaders as well. Um, he needs to create a showcase of student work, successes of sports teams, organizations in the school, and then after presenting those to the community, discuss with the attendees the benefits of good school attendance and the ways to improve that, ideas that they have, how they can help in that, and then also coordinate with social services to help families that may have barriers to good attendance. And that is my presentation. Thank you.